Hey, hey, all.
Hello.
We are in part two, the
Yes.
silent years or the silence. And today our
Yes.
stream is competing with business sentencing. So I'm again not counting on very many people.
That's fine.
Yeah,
I can't imagine I'm guessing she's gonna go free because she's a sweet lady and I'm sure she can be rehabilitated in a couple years. I mean,
yeah.
who hasn't in a fit of passion left your lover's dong and head in a bucket for his mom to find,
Yeah,
as you do? And
as you do. Yeah.
and used him after for
Mm,
personal
mm,
self-pleasure, as
mm.
one does.
Yeah. Good
Good
morning, Miss
morning.
Peony, and good morning to the three people over on Rumble. I'm guessing that everybody's waiting for. I mean, yeah, but that's just the way it is.
It really is.
Yeah, this four-part stream will be up there and on both our channels. And well, as when interest peaks, maybe they people will find it afterwards.
I was about to say, the trial doesn't start until January. I'm sure this as the defense has really pushed for cameras in the courtroom, I'm sure that if they get that and the Franks hearing does go through, I'm
Mm,
sure as this gets closer to the thing or
mm,
to the trial, people will come back and they want to get, a little bit more
mm,
information. I'm sure that will definitely,
mm,
there's not a time expiration on this.
mm.
We're not
No.
doing this for views. We're doing this to help people understand
Mm.
what it was kind of like going through this trial because really I do acknowledge your self-importance, excited. I really do.
Oh, hi, EU.
Um, but it really was quite surreal because,
Mm,
I mean, you have the murders,
mm,
and then it really does go radio silence for
yeah,
several years. We have the sketch, we have we have Down the Hill,
mm,
that very kind of, choppy footage that they kind of
mm,
spliced together,
yeah,
or it was taken in such a way that you can't they wanted you to really focus on the gate, but the gate was choppy and
mm,
weird to begin with, and then you we had nothing else.
mm,
So the
yeah,
internet did what the internet does, and you had the property owner that got,
mm,
harassed. You got the family members who rightly or wrongly got,
mm,
internet sleuthed for a long
yeah,
time. Any
mm,
sort of person on a registry, so to speak, who had a passing
mm.
okay, Daniel Nations, let me see if I can pull him up. Let's see.
Mm. And for you three over at Rumble, please hit that thumbs up.
Okay,
Today it means
present.
more than ever.
Okay, so this is in 2017. All right, so this would be the gentleman Daniel Nations. This was I don't want to I don't like you, Fox. This was the prime internet suspect, in 2017. Daniel
Mm,
Nations was, while Daniel Nations remains behind bars in Colorado, he was on the registry. I mean, dude could have been the poster board boy for this particular person.
mm,
There's a lot of similarities. He was acting strangely around the time. You know,
mm,
he was supposedly at the ultrasound with his wife, but they don't know. I
mm,
mean, he had his life ruined. I mean, look, he was already in jail. It's not like he was a good person to begin with. But the internet doing what the internet does, because we didn't have any information, you had this.
Yeah. Yeah. There was a lot of, and I think also that the prosecution at the time went out and really said, please stop with the internet rumors. Yeah, but you can't just say that. You have to say why this person is not of interest. But no, stop the rumors. And then, so between the summer of not even summer, between, I think, June of 2017, 3 months after, 4 months after the murder, up until April of 2019, there's basically nothing from the police, the prosecution, anything. Nothing. No information at all.
No.
And that invites internet rumors.
And it's from a genuine place of these people aren't trying to, they don't see the havoc that they wreak. I mean, most people aren't genuinely trying to ruin these people's lives. They're trying to get justice, but unfortunately, they don't have all the information. We didn't have all the information. We didn't have anything. And it definitely, there was a veil of secrecy, and it was frustrating because it definitely felt like they were holding back a lot more than other cases, because other cases, like say the Night Stalker, they were holding back on the shoes. Now, Dianne Feinstein, being a moron, decided to hold a press conference and let that shoe business out because she's a moron. This was before she was senile. This was when she was fairly lucid, allegedly.
Allegedly.
But, this secrecy, this veil of secrecy seems to go beyond many other cases that I've seen. And again, I am just a casual criminologist. I go to sleep listening to serial killer documentaries. Mr. Moe is extremely scared of me. I don't, like most women, I watch Snapped episodes like always.
Yeah. Yeah, but there are some things within the crime scene and the route there and everything that they can keep some stuff out, but not everything. I mean, at least they were murdered by a sharp object.
Yes.
That would have been okay. Now we can rule out every rumor about guns and move forward, and then people can, okay, knives. At least that removes half the tips, I would assume. It removes speculations about people who only use guns. I mean, there's so much in this, and this is during the radio silence is when they yeet the FBI.
Yeah, and that's where I think that maybe, and again, I did the story yesterday with pounds and pounds of salt, y'all, pounds of it. One of the detectives that was listed in the defense memorandum, Gregory Frency, he was one of the 3 detectives that continued to go on with the sort of other angle, and part of the group that Detective Click or Officer Click went ahead and sent the certified letter to the prosecution to make sure that they weren't prosecuting an innocent man. He wanted confirmation that, Richard Allen is the correct person. Gregory Frency was at the Terre Haute FBI home office when it was Molotov cocktailed by Shane Meehan, and then he engaged in a firefight with same Shane Meehan, who happens to used to be a guard at the Westfield Correctional Office. Now, again, two things can be true at once. This man could honestly, genuinely hate the feds.
Yeah.
In current political climate, could honestly just not like federal agents and just picked Terre Haute because he lived there. And this officer just happened to, hear firebomb and run towards the action because that is his job, that is his DNA.
Yeah.
But it also just seems to be a little bit interessante.
Hi,
Hello,
Murph.
Murph.
Kaiser Pineapple is here also. Hi, Kaiser.
Ooh.
Hey,
yes, and I saw your video about the new Aquaman, and yeah, I would walk out too. Listen.
Is this one of these movies you can just look up on an alternative site to not waste money? Now, don't spoil it. I will check Kaiser's video. And yeah. Yeah, Tim Farnham is here also. Yeah, okay. Yeah, there's starting to be a few people here as well. Don't forget, go over to Mo, give Mo a thumbs up. Link is on top of my chat. Yeah. So she get and subscribe and everything. So
yes,
this stream, which apparently I've been told has is a podcast. It's more resemblance of a podcast than a trial stream, because
well, I thought podcasts were audio only. Are we supposed to be publishing on an Apple now? Are we a multi-level marketing are we a level? I don't know what we're multi-dimensional.
Yeah.
Don't ask me. I don't know.
Yeah. Apparently podcasts are a conversation instead of showing movies and trials and stuff. I had no idea.
Fry and Mo in the morning a podcast.
Yes, do so.
Going Apple exclusive, so then they can cancel me and I can say I've been beat down by the man. Then I'm raising money on GoFundMe.
Yeah, maybe when we have done these 4 episodes, I don't know how to release something as a podcast. I barely know YouTube.
I know. I'm only semi-competent in YouTube. I'm sure I can become semi-incompetent in Apple.
Podcast. Oh, okay. Podcasts don't have murder boards. Lame. Okay.
Then no.
Then we're out. Yeah. So the streaming this is just for these 4 episodes is get everybody to a basic understanding, because it's 6 years since the girls were murdered and what happened. And since Mo knows more than about this than definitely I do, but in the final episode, when we go into the Odinist, maybe I can contribute to something, and also to get more subscribers. So for you on the replay crew, it will be in the description below. So Mo can get monetized.
Yes. And I'm coming out as a church for tax-exempt purposes. I'm a religion.
Puppy needs food and stuff to chew on.
No, Puppy needs obedience classes.
Okay, but Mo needs to get monetized so Puppy can get obedience classes.
Because I'm not sure he even knows his name.
Some dogs, you just look at them and no, there's nothing there.
He's sweet. He's not very brave or smart.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Part 2, the silence. I have something that we almost ended on last time, but it was repeated a bit. with Delphi Murders investigation heading in new direction. Police plan Monday announcement, and this was April 19th, 2019, and this has been updated until recently. The investigation, blah 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 blah, moving in a new direction. ESP Superintendent Doug Carter will hold a press briefing on Monday at noon in Delphi, according to a statement from the agency, to share information with the media and public about the new direction of the homicide investigation. And that's it. And that's the entire article. But then we come to this. This is from April 22nd, 2019, which I guess is Monday. Delphi Murders. ISP says new audio, video, and sketch shows Libby and Abby's killer. And let's read first. More than 2 years after Liberty and Abigail were found murdered, Indiana State Police are releasing new evidence to help find their killer. State police officials has released a new short clip of the video recorded on Libby German's cell phone, a short clip of audio of few more words spoken by the suspect, and an additional sketch of the suspect. The video. Indiana State Police released never-before-seen video of the bridge guy that was taken by Liberty German on the day that she died. That video shows the suspect walking along the bridge. When you see the video, watch the person's mannerisms as they walk, Carter said. Do you recognize the mannerisms as being someone you might know? Carter says because of where the man is walking and the deterioration of the bridge, the suspect is not walking naturally because of the spacing between the ties. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just they want you to notice the mannerisms. They give you a weird little clip and they don't. Oh.
Yeah, and that's it.
Yeah, that's what they gave us. So we waited several years. Aren't you the wealth of information they've shared with us? Aren't you excited?
Yeah, almost a year and a couple of months later. That's a wealth of information. Really, it is really. Oh, Gigi is here. Hi, Gigi.
No, I'm trying. Something with my stream has gone terribly wrong. As usual, I'm only semi-competent in this, and not fully competent, so I don't know what I've done wrong.
Huh? Yeah,
so I'm trying to.
Refresh because it's up.
Yes,
I see it's up.
Yes. All right, I did it. I did something. We don't know.
Something. Okay, good.
Internet gnomes, as usual, have invaded my computer. It is not my fault.
Yeah, that's it. A man taking 2 steps. It's a 9 seconds in total, but it is repeated 11 times. Man taking 2 steps.
Yes, and I mean, it's blurry. They said that they fixed it up. I mean, so the internet actually did yeoman's work here. People with much greater skills than I did went in and, I don't know, you can fix it so he's not as gibbly, I guess, and make the background. They cleaned it up. They tried to give reference points to how tall he was, you know, different things. I mean, people have made full-on computer graphics of this. People have invested so much time because they want to find justice for these children. And this is what we're given. And then the added thing that we got to the audio was guys down the hill.
Okay. The audio. An additional audio clip of audio from the same man has also been released. The new clip includes the word before the previously released version, which only stated down the hill. The new audio clip is a slightly extended version of the original, which was released days after the girls were murdered, and it includes the word "guys" followed by "down the hill." Please keep in mind that the person talking is one person and is the person on the bridge with the girls. How the flaming dragon fought? Do you know that?
Well, no. People were they came out with this and the media was like, "Oh my gosh, new stuff." I mean, local media was fawning and ridiculous, and everyone else, local people that were there for this press conference was like, this is what we're getting. Are you kidding me? What
Yeah.
the hell have you been doing in there?" And then
Yeah.
I believe this is the press conference where they talked about The Shack. It's a movie. I believe what's his face? Faith Hill's wife or husband is in it, and basic premise is guy's daughter is unalived by serial killer while they're The Shack.
Shack.
Not Shaft.
Salbert.
It is now officially a stream. We have called Sal Salbert. It is now officially a stream. But this is where he brings that up. And look, the lead person from the state police, and it was just like, what in the actual hell am I watching? It is, the general public, because I remember texting my friend who's kind of into true crime too, and I was like, what the hell did we just watch? I was like, we got one word and a sketch that looks nothing like the other dude. What the hell did we just watch?
Yeah, and
a movie review.
Yeah, and for you who wonder what do I mean with flaming the dragon fire fought? Well, this. That's the Norwegian fire-farting dragon. Oh, Dr. Heinz is in the chat as well. Hi.
Hello.
Yeah. Okay, but let's hear it. The audio.
Yeah, they couldn't clean it up at all. They couldn't bring it up bring the audio forward. It was just it was maddening. I'm telling you, the people who have been, really we were expecting something more after 2 years. We were expecting that they would have something. They, with as much as they were like, we won't let this case go cold. We won't do, anything. We are working hard. We have all these tips. And I don't think the public realized, in fact, I didn't realize until I just got into the memo that they had released the FBI. So I don't think people were aware that they had released the FBI.
No, and here's the thing. I really hope that the original tapes, the original device will be released to the defense so they can have it forensically examined as well. Because
Well, I mean, according to a lot of the paperwork, and they did a giant document dump, and I'm working on, since I'm taking a little bit of a step back, I'm working on going through the document dump of all of the paperwork and all of the motions that they've done since October of last year. They have had a hard time with getting discovery, kind of like the Karen Reed case. So I'm hoping that the state is finally, I don't know what it is, if this is kind of a normal thing where discovery is just voluminous and it's hard to get in, or states really just don't want to give you discovery for some reason.
Sometimes the state waits with the final discovery the day before the trial. They will prolong it in the longest, because in discovery, sometimes their direction will completely be revealed. So they know they can't have a Perry Mason moment once the trial starts, usually, and hopefully no surprise moment. But they wait until the very, very end. Sometimes even in the court steps on the day of the trial to release.
Well, and I think that's part of the reason that this defense wants the video cameras there, because I think the state
Yeah.
has been doing a lot of shenanigans. I mean,
Mm.
they have dealt with the fact that correctional officers have been trying to videotape their, uh, client privileges. So
Mm.
there have been a lot of shenanigans going on, alleged shenanigans.
Yeah. Yeah.
So sunlight is the best disinfectant. Again, if this guy is guilty and we can prove it, then yes, let him go to jail forever and ever.
Yeah.
Whoever did this to these girls needs to go to, well,
Yeah.
Gen Pop. But make it provable. I want
Yeah.
it provable, and thus far, I have not seen enough to prove anything.
Mm. Especially considering the guy 5'4" and spherical, containing
Yeah.
2 teenage girls. I mean, already there you have an issue. But they claim gun. Yeah, but you have to prove it.
You have to prove it. You have to prove that, again, you have to subdue 2 children in wet clothes, then it just logically, it doesn't look, it's a very high risk area. You have an area you cannot control, people walking through, you know, you
Yeah.
can't control that. Anyone could walk onto you. You would have had to scope out this area, know that this is a secluded area where you can do all this, where you would have either pre-cut or the ability to have a small pocket knife or a large pocket knife to cut these branches, so you'd have to have time to do that. So you'd have to have all of this planned out prior to. This wouldn't be a crime of passion. You would have to be
Yeah.
able to know that you could do all of this without someone catching you. I mean, these are things that
Mm.
you would have to factor in.
A good fortune that 2 girls showed up.
Unless you knew you were going to do it to these particular girls for a
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah.
And this was kind of a spur of the moment thought that they had because, the sister didn't really want to take them to the bridge. The
Mm.
girls had been doing some work for the grandmother, earning some money, filing. The dad and the grandmother have a real estate sort of business thing, so he was going to take photos at a house they believe they were renting out or something along those lines. So the sister dropped them off at the bridge, and the dad was supposed to pick them up after he was done taking those photographs or something that he was going to be out of town. So, you know, so the fact is that, again, you would have to have been scoping this place out, hoping to find 2 children or 2 girls or
Mm.
someone, but not run into it.
Yeah.
It just there's a lot of factors and not a lot of it has made sense to me yet. And again, I could be looking at it totally wrong. Not
Mm.
everything is CSI, Hannibal Lecter.
Mm.
Sometimes dumb people get lucky.
Yeah. But let's see here. The new sketch. The new sketch released Monday afternoon is now the primary suspect in the murders of Libby and Abby, according to Indiana State Police. The initial sketch released in July 2017 is now considered secondary in the case. Interesting. Take a close look at the image below. Carter says they believe this is the man responsible for the murders of Libby and Abby. The result of the new information and intelligence over time leads us to believe the sketch is the person responsible for the murders of these 2 little girls. We also believe this person is from Delphi, currently or has previously lived here, visits Delphi on a regular basis, or works here. We believe this person is between the age range of 18 and 40, but may appear younger than his actual age. And there he is. And yeah, as you might remember from yesterday, it's not really, let's see here, not really similar,
No.
is it? It's a completely, I mean, that looks like a teenager, or at most early 20s. So yeah, it's remarkable how different it is. But we will talk more about this a bit later. Unknown vehicle. During Monday's press conference, Indiana State Police also requested the public's help to identify the driver of a vehicle that was parked nearby the day Libby and Abby went missing. Carter says a vehicle was parked at the old CPS welfare building in Delphi on the east side of County Road, blah, 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 blah. No details about that vehicle were released, including make and model, color, or license plate number.
We want you to look for a vehicle, but we're not going to tell you what it is.
Yeah, here we are a year and some months later. Do you remember a vehicle?
It's just it boggles the mind again. Nicholas, you cannot make this crap up. This is what we were given. Like, did you see a vehicle? All right. Guess what? Tell me now. What color was it?
Purple.
We believe you're hiding in plain sight. You're a human. Go out and find him, people.
We are likely have interviewed or someone close to you. We know that this is about power to you, and you want to know what we know. That one day you will.
This was where they went into the whole thing about the shack. I mean, it was just, I was yelling curse words. I know you're shocked at my TV. I was like, the hell am I listening to this bullshit crap? Just tell me what the hell we're supposed to be looking for, other than the guy from my local, the 18-year-old kid trying to buy booze at my local, Kroger.
And here we have Indiana State Police has been tight-lipped about any other evidence they may have from the girls' murders, but at a February press conference marking 2 years since the investigation began, they once again hinted that there were things being held back to help create their case when a suspect was found. Investigator also acknowledged that more video and audio taken by Libby exists. Okay.
We're holding it in case the writer's strike continues. What the hell?
Yeah. We are doing Miss Becky. We are writing a book.
I don't doubt it. I mean, let's no comment.
Yeah, and then a day later, this is what they are writing. Delphi Murders, why are the sketches so different? Okay, let's find out. Nearly 1,000 tips has poured into the Delphi tip line in 24 hours after Indiana State Police released a new sketch, video and audio of the prime suspect in the investigation. Hey Mama Rose. Audio of the prime suspect in the investigation of who killed Abby and Libby. One of the biggest questions people have been asking is why the new sketch is so vastly different from the one we've been relying on for the past 2 years. Working for You, Call 6 Investigates answers that question in the video below. Okay, let's find out.
At 6, nearly 1,000 tips have poured into the Delphi tip lines, and investigators released new information, including a new sketch. But tonight, many questions as to why the sketches look so different. Working for you, Call 6 investigates. Paris LaBelle finds out.
Just looking at the different sketches, they're vastly different. This one is much older, the other one is much younger. But why the stark difference? The first time we got a better idea of what the person looked like started more than 2 years ago when the first sketch in the case was released. That was July of 2017. At the time, the public never knew about another sketch, but Call 6 has learned that investigators also had this newly released sketch in their possession at the time the first one was made public. And Call 6 is now learning the sketches are from 2 separate witnesses and were completed at 2 different times. So what's the reason for the release now? Information obtained by investigators makes them believe this newly released sketch looks more like the suspect than the one released almost 2 years ago. But experts say while composite sketches help give an idea of what somebody looks like, they're often flawed and don't look exactly like the suspect. We spoke to former FBI agent and ABC News.
Yeah. How to stretch out a segment is what I would call this. Because
Well, it's
as
also,
you look at it, it's very different. Yes, we know.
well, also how to not call the cops assholes because they had both of these at the same time and
Yeah.
failed to release the other one.
Yeah, they were first only looking for the older guy, and then 2 years later. By the way, 2 years ago in the spring, do you recognize this guy? I can't remember the color of my socks that I'm wearing, unless I
Also,
look
do you
down.
remember a car? But we're not going to tell you what we're looking for.
Yeah, I mean,
Do you see why people are maybe prone to believe that these police officers are involved in a cover-up? Do you see why
yeah.
maybe we're primed to believe that maybe they're hiding something and they've done a shit job? Allegedly. Look, again, 2 things can be true. They can be doing a great job and just hiding information for the integrity of the case. But the appearance, the optics of it, the way things have come out, the way things haven't come out, it primes the pump for as when this defense memo dropped, you have the perfect soil for this to look like podunk cops do jack crap and, boss hog kind of thing. I mean, this story writes itself, basically.
Yeah. I mean, first revealing, okay, we are now believing this guy. Okay, why?
And we're not given that answer. And if I think we do need to look at the probable cause affidavit because there are so many different descriptions between the car, what the man is wearing, where he is. It boggles the mind how this got through. I mean, and if you look at it, even if you juxtapose it from, because I picked a case contemporaneous from when I was kind of looking at it first from the, Letitia Stout case. I mean, they had, and she used her phone here and GPS put the suspect at the location where we found this. Nothing like that.
Yeah. I mean,
it was like, we found a knife and shotguns in his house and some Carhartt. And I'm like, well, that's every house in Indiana.
Yeah. And as we talked yesterday, 500 adult men. Then they excluded 200 of them. And these were adult men with a goatee. That's 500 people, 500 grown men in a town that has roughly 2,200 citizens. That's all the male adults in that town. All of them. It doesn't exclude anyone.
Yeah, so it just, again, like I've said from the beginning, if the guy is guilty, if they can prove it, great. I want justice to be done. But optically, they have done everything in their power to make it look like they have done, they're hiding something. Rightly or wrongly, they have done everything to make it look like we have something to hide. We are, there's shady small town, good old boy network stuff going on. And it's not reflecting well on this case. It doesn't reflect well on the, well, state, but we're Indiana, so, it is what it is. But it doesn't move us closer to getting any sort of justice for these girls, which is the most important and upsetting for me. Because I could care less if it looks bad for people, but my baseline point is that this doesn't move us any closer to getting justice. What they gave us didn't help anything, in my opinion.
Yeah.
These are only my thoughts.
And so let's move on to the next article. ISP. Person in first Delphi sketch is not a person of interest in Libby and Abby's murders. Second sketch of different person is their person
The defense
of
should use
interest.
this article, and Richard Allen should be out.
Yeah. And looking at this rough image, can that be a scarf and not?
It does kind of look like a balaclava almost.
Yeah, of sorts.
Or like a turtleneck. They kind of did one.
Yeah. Well, Indiana's Katie Cox. Don't Google that name with safe search off. I did that mistake yesterday. Luckily, not on stream. And that was interesting. Miss Cox is a very talented reporter. And I reached out to her, but she hasn't answered me. Okay, Delphi. Indiana State Police are now saying the new sketch of the Delphi suspect is their current person of interest, and the first sketch, released 2 years ago, is not a person of interest at this time. Investigators released a clarification on Wednesday, that is after the Monday press conference, saying that the new sketch, which was created by a different eyewitness account, is now the person they are searching for. It was initially believed the sketch that has been in public view over the last 2 years of a person in the age range of his 40s to 50s was a person of interest in the murder investigation, state police said. Now, as the investigation has matured and past information has been reassessed, it is the belief of investigators with a multi-agency task force that the person depicted in the sketch released on April 22nd more accurately represents the person wanted for the murders of Abigail Williams and Liberty German. That is a hell of a statement that the defense definitely will use.
Yeah. Well, and the fact that they sat on it for 2 years, that's the part that really I need an explanation on.
Yeah.
What was the reasoning? Why did you sit on it for 2 years, knowing that you could have gotten more tips? You could have found person for 2 years.
Yeah, and the sketch just a day or a week later, well, people might have remembered a similar face. But now 2 years later, no. I mean, it's almost intentional. And yeah. Indiana State Police also issues the following clarification about the two sketches. They are not the same person. No shit, Sherlock.
Well, I mean, it is Indiana, and apparently we do have to make that clarification.
Okay. The person depicted in the originally released sketch is not presently a person of interest in this investigation. The sketch released on April 22nd is representative of the face of the person captured in the video of Liberty German's cell phone as he was walking on the high bridge. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
How? Yeah,
I don't
don't know.
understand how they got that from that, but I don't have the best eyesight. CRPS kind of messes with your eyesight too sometimes, but I'm like, all I'm seeing is blurry. So
Yeah,
maybe someone else is seeing something, or maybe they have computer magic. I don't know.
I don't know either.
Or maybe
The
they
per-
have clearer footage.
Maybe. The person in the sketch released April 22nd is described as having a youthful appearance but could fall in the age range from his 20s to late 30s.
That sketch looked like 18 to 20. I mean, that sketch looks
Yeah.
like a teenager.
Yeah.
But baby-faced, so maybe 30s, maybe. You could maybe do
Maybe.
30s. But
This person's appearance could look different today if he has grown a mustache, beard, or let his hair grow longer, or cut his hair shorter than depicted in the sketch. Yeah, so why didn't you release it earlier? Orons with a silent M.
welcome to my world, Nicholas. The amount of cussing, Mr. Mo came home and he's like, "What in the hell is wrong with you?" And I was like, A, you're not in trouble. B, this entire thing is run by, I was like, these people didn't pass a basic IQ test. Why won't they just let me work on this? I can do it myself. I'll do it my own self. Solve this today. I'm gonna go down.
Yeah, and as Murph told, it's blurry AF, and the two separate voice clips mashed together is sus. Yeah, everything about the video and the audio is highly sus.
And that's my point, is that even if they had done everything by the book, say again, this is everything by the book and they have done everything right, they still optically have given the impression of extreme corruption and obstreperousness to the point of ridiculousness. I mean, they have been uncooperative with the public to the point of, we are the enemy.
Yeah.
I mean, to the point of, they seem like they just don't even want to find this person because they've given us nothing to work with.
Yeah. Why wait 2 years with this? I mean, it's a community with 2,200 people. Why wait 2 years if you had that sketch? You could have released them at the same time. These are two persons we are currently looking for as witnesses. They might have seen something. Anything. And maybe if Oron suspect with a silent M is Oronic enough, they think I'm only a witness. Now I can lure them that way. But 2 years later, no.
I mean, okay, honestly, if I were a cop, look, I'd line everyone willing to come in, every dude willing to come in, and I'd have, okay, I need you to say these words. And I'd have them say a couple random phrases, and then I'd say, hey, guys down the hill. And then I'd have them say it. And if anyone sounded remotely like that, of the people that volunteered, I'd say, hey, can you come back in here? I just need to check you with this little sketchy deal. And you also walk across the bridge.
Yeah, you can remove all whiskey voices, all cigarette voices. Okay, that removes in Black Creek, Indiana, 50% already.
With a limp, people that can't walk across the bridge, people that are gainfully employed. I mean,
Yeah, people with a walker, people with disabilities, people who can't swim. I mean, there's a lot of people to just,
It's almost like we could have played Guess Who.
Yeah.
Like, okay, does he have 2 eyeballs? Okay. I feel like, again, when you and I are the voices of reason, The world has gone mad.
Uh,
But I'm glad someone else is seeing this because for years I've been like, am I am I have I am I smelling burnt toast? Am I having a stroke? What is going on here?
am I having trouble applauding? I mean, I tap myself on the shoulder and accidentally slap myself.
I'm
I
like,
mean,
what is because it was mind-boggling what was going on. Again, just in comparison to contemporaneous cases, you had just cases going on where we were getting all these different things
hmm,
and nada.
yeah. It's so infuriating.
It really is because at the end of the day, it seems like egos
Yeah.
played a bigger part than justice,
No.
and it's
FBI can't come here and tell us what to do. So let's sit on our asses and suck our thumbs for the next 2 years.
yeah, and let's hide this sketch because reasons. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then claim it's a brand new sketch until someone says, "Hey, we had this sketch all along."
Yeah.
Because we couldn't remember our damn meetings where we told
Mhm.
Joe not to say that.
Mhm. Ben, yo, Billy Bob, did you have the sketch? No, I think Keith Kent, blah, blah, blah,
Jim
has
Bob.
it. Jim Bob. Um,
Did one person do this? Yeah, one person totally did it, except for when Jim Bob said he thought 3 people did it. Under deposition? Did he say that yesterday? Oh, crap. I mean, he never said that I remember.
I have no recollection. I did not have sexual relations
Relations with
no.
that woman that my wife knows about. I don't want another black eye, allegedly. Poor Bill Clinton. He looks so dead and tired now.
Yeah, and yeah.
Couldn't have happened to a better man, really. I stand with Juanita Broderick.
Yeah, not my job and above my pay grade were probably uttered repeatedly throughout the investigation. Yes, Murph's turf.
You know what's sad is you had those 3 cops that went above and beyond and went to the point of sending a certified letter, and one lost his life probably unrelatedly. But you had genuine police officers who were doing their very best to up until the point where I believe one officer lost his job because he wasn't willing to go with allegedly, he's filed a lawsuit. So but he wasn't willing to go with the United Concordia or whatever the United Confederation's general theory of the case, and they demoted him to, I think, patrol cop. So,
Yeah.
you know, again, more things are coming out about kind of Carroll County that are not putting them in the best light. And I believe that particular video on that lawsuit is in my Delphi playlist, I believe. So if you're interested in that, I do have that up.
Yeah. After this stream, go to Mo's channel and watch through that playlist and subscribe. If you, oh, by the way, if you have social media, share the link to the
Yes,
streams.
please.
I know it's show business at the moment, and many people are over there, but
I don't know. I think she's going to get parole someday. You know, just no sharp things. She's going to learn macrame. She's going to be a big star. She's going to start selling art like Jody. It'll just be buckets and weird dioramas.
Yeah. Let's see here. I might have some picture of this. One moment. Yes, here it is. I have some of Miss Business statements here.
You know, it's hard. You have to get a bra and go outside. Life is difficult.
Yeah. Oh, I lost the audio. Oh, poor me. Yeah. That is at least my imagination about what's going on over there. Oh, thank you, Unhung Hero, for your $5 super chat. Lucky for the detectives and police officers in this case, they can always move to South Carolina and work for SLED.
Well, they're hiring.
Yeah, they are currently hiring, I believe. Oh God. Thank you so much, Unhung Hero. Thank you, Kaiser. Says two of my favorite peeps on the
Oh,
tubes.
thank you.
Yeah, criminally undersubscribed to. Get down there and subscribe to Nick and Mo. Yes,
Yes.
and that goes for you on the rewatch crew. If you are not
Yes.
subscribed to either of us,
Yeah. Subscribe, and I'm trying to learn the Rumbles. So when I first joined Rumble, I did it as a civilian. I had no intention of becoming a YouTuber, though my children still contend I'm not a YouTuber since I've never met Mr. Beast. So,
Oh.
there you go.
But you have met many other streamers, but
Well,
maybe
yeah.
we don't count, we in the law tubes.
Well, my kids aren't supposed to be watching my streams.
Yeah.
In theory, I hope not.
And either on Jeff's streams and my drunken streams, that's when you meet the most people, and that's not for your kids.
No, they'd be.
That's kind of 18 plus content. And by the way, on Friday, I haven't set that up yet. It is Chatfaced for Charity Part 2.
Oh.
Yeah. It's a drinking stream for Sakura Anderson's Defense Fund.
Okay. Awesome. Well, I will be doing nightly newsy news, but then I'll probably stop by after that.
I'm trying to force Jeff on, so I will be beginning earlier during the day.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, then I'll probably do that before nightly newsy news, and then I can do that.
Yeah, probably, because I'm starting 3 p.m. my time, which is 9 a.m. U.S. Eastern.
Oh, well, yeah, I can do that, definitely.
Yeah. And I will send to Kaiser and people. And
welcome, person. I can't read your name on Nicholas's stream because I don't know what those letters. Okay, I love that we're both looking.
I know the face, but I can't remember the name. But I know the face.
And when I run into this problem on Newsy News, I say something foreign because I don't want to commit a cultural issue like Canada. Nicholas, am I the only one that paid attention in history class?
Say what now?
I said, am I the only one that paid attention in history class? Because Canada's parliament, apparently no one paid attention. They decided to have a standing that one.
Yeah, that one. Yeah. And I've been having an interesting...
okay.
Jolie. Okay, Jolie. Yeah. And
thank you so much.
Yeah, I've been having some Twitter wars during the day about that. About reminding people that World War II happened 10 years after the Holodomor genocide, where
that wasn't that never happened. That was communism. That never happened.
Yeah, that's one of the things I've heard too. That no, never happened, and if it happened, it was famine, because extremely locally, just at that region, it had a miscrop or something, which
just
is
like the
interesting.
Armenians.
Yeah,
never happened.
But, yeah, so that was it was an interesting morning, so to speak.
Yeah, I try not to get into Twitter wars, but that's because basically I barely figured out how to respond to people, let alone have regular wars.
Yeah, it's Elder Futhark. We talked about that the other day.
Oh, yes. Okay.
The difference between Elder and modern. there are so many runes out there, and I'm going back to reading up about everything more due to the Thursdays,
Yes.
where we go into the Odinist lead.
Yeah, I mean, this case has gotten just it was nothing, and now it's
It's
all the things.
not Nazi Vikings.
Well, yet you know, this might be the one case where it perhaps oh, well.
Thank you. Yeah.
Well, and now I feel bad for people that maybe are in, let's say, because now people are going to paint it with a broad brush.
Yeah.
And you have these idiot jack bongs who are using this bastardized version of something that's older than dirt, basically.
Yeah.
And had real connections to something, not ridiculous connections to Flipper Man, who has highly inflated values of the purity of his blood.
Yeah.
So I do feel bad for people that are trying to get back to their maybe Nordic roots, and this is going to now color that.
Yeah, and I mean, everybody's interested in either the Roman Empire or the Vikings or dinosaurs. That's kind of dinosaurs is ages 3 to 7, then all of a sudden Vikings 7 to 10 or 12, and then all of a sudden you start to read about the Roman Empire, and then that gets really interesting. And yeah,
I can confirm my youngest is into dinosaurs that fight each other. So he's a dinosaur Viking.
Yep. Oh, I have
Without a shirt. If that boy could be shirtless all the time, I think he would. I don't know. He might be Viking or Celtic. I'm just saying, if he got hold of blue paint, I don't know that Braveheart would be out of the possibility of, you know.
Yeah. There is a movie a few years old, the Kung Fury movie. Have you seen it?
No, I think I've heard of it, but I definitely if it promotes any sort of kung fu, look, the boys already give each other black eyes all the time. We have what we call aggressive friendliness, where we generally solve things by punching and or hitting each other, even though I've asked each other not to do that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Dinosaur Space Vikings for the win.
Yeah. And one line in the movie is extraordinary. The main character asks, where and when am I? And the woman answers, you're in the Viking Age. And he answers, that explains the laser raptors.
I will have to watch that.
Yeah.
Because that sounds like my kind of humor.
Yeah.
And I definitely, I made Mr. Mo watch Team America because he had never seen it. I don't know how we even got married. I really don't. Because he's like, this is all what are these puppets doing? And I was like, oh no, you have barely seen the first 10 minutes. It gets worse.
America, F yeah.
Oh, believe me, if I run for president, it's not going to be Hail to the Chief. That's just going to be playing in the background. With smoke bomb. Like, no, we play it up to the hilt. Every stereotype. Just, I will go full clown world.
Oh yeah, we have a case too. Yeah. Forgot.
Oh yeah, what? We were doing something about something?
Yeah. Members of the Delphi community should reflect back on people they know in the community that look similar to the sketch released 2 years later. especially if that person has changed their appearances in the last 2 years.
You know, as someone who's gone through very stressful times in my life, let me tell you that, and I'm being kind of serious. So when I lost my first husband,
Mhm.
like those 2 years after that,
Mm.
that entire year after that, I mean, I remember bits and pieces, but if you ask me like, "Hey, do you remember this?" I mean, I remember I survived. I know we
Yeah.
did stuff, but that
Mm.
entire year is a blur.
Yeah.
So this was a severe trauma to this entire community,
Mm.
and you're trying to get them to remember something that honestly they're probably not. This is the worst idea ever.
Yeah. Let's see here. Yeah. New short clip. Familiar or works in the city. Blah, 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 blah. And then we go forward to early May. Over 42,000 tips received since Libby and Abby's death. And this is the same again. And let's see here. No, this is just a reiteration. Well, here is this press conference. I don't feel like it.
I was about to say, I want to figure out which one is legit because I want to know if which one we're going to be seeing explainerate the witness statements if we get to that. Because I have heard through the grapevine from my local defense source that this judge is very pro-state. Now,
Okay.
that is the scuttlebutt. That is not, this is if you follow Doomcock, this is a rumor only and take it with a pound of salt. I cannot verify any of these things. I don't have a cool helmet or voice modulator, so take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah. But then, no, I don't have that explanation up because the next article is yet another 2 years later, 2021.
Hey, they are on my kid's schedule every 2 years like clockwork. I have a kid. It is the most schedule. I was on it for 10 years, almost 12 years. It's the most schedule.
Yeah. But here it takes a left turn.
It kind of does.
Investigators looking into Lafayette kidnapping suspect in connection with Delphi murders. Investigators are looking into a man charged in a Lafayette kidnapping to determine if he has any connection to the unsolved murders of two teenage girls in Delphi. James Shadwell II, 42, was arrested last week after police found a missing 10-year-old girl in the basement of his home. Then some disturbing facts. The arrest in Lafayette has sparked a lot of conversation about the unsolved deaths of Libby and Abby, just 15 minutes away in Delphi. The Carroll County Sheriff tells the newspaper that investigators are looking into Shadwell to determine if he has any connection with the 2017 case. At his information as obviously, blah, 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 blah. And then prosecutors charged and everything. But I'm just going to see if I can.
Yeah, I can't remember if I don't think he really resembled. I don't remember. This kind of was a flash in the pan as far as I remember. So I can't remember if he just didn't really resemble or he wasn't. Gotta love that Rafael Sanchez just gets in that byline too. Look, you guys, I like to make fun of Rafael Sanchez. if you watch any of my coverage of Delphi in the early years, anytime that another reporter has to come on scene with him, usually it's baby reporter. And yeah, oh yeah, no, he did look exactly like him. And I don't remember why it is that we ruled him out. But yeah, we definitely thought that he was the guy for a little bit.
Yeah, but apparently
I-
later on, no.
It was the soul patch. We were like, no, not the soul patch.
Well, maybe with a goatee, no.
No, but he
No.
did. I can't remember again why we ruled him out.
Mm.
But I know that we've had this case had a lot of those false starts. You had Daniel Nation who looked, I mean, like he sat for a portrait of sketch number 1
Mm.
and was on a registry and had a history of bad touch of younger girls. So we thought we had that and we were done.
Mm.
And then we got this particular gentleman, and I have to look it up now because I cannot remember. Again, I think I was moving at this time. So moving with 6 small children was awesome in the middle of winter.
Dum, dum, dum. I'm trying to see if I find any articles about when he was ruled out. Dun, dun, dun. Not really. I can't really find anything.
It must have been an alibi of some sort that was solid. I'll have to research more into it today while I'm working on stuff.
Yeah, I can't really find anything. And after this, it's nothing again, more or less, until this. And this is 2022. Which brings us to next episode, because now we are going into and looking at the sketches, I can't really see a resemblance immediately at all in between any of them.
I mean, other than the fact that he has a goatee,
but
he has closer set eyes, which both of these pictures have closer set eyes, but there's more roundness to the face. I mean, I'd have to see a picture of him at that time because, it's been 5 years, maybe he's put on weight. It just, again, he's 5'4". He's not the most physically healthy.
Yeah, but that is for tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah. So, So more or less now for just over an hour, we have been stretching out. This is from summer of 2017 until Mr. Allen 5 years later was arrested.
Yes.
And that is all the information out there.
Yeah. So, I mean, you can definitely see how the internet would go wild. And I can understand the police's frustration with, again, the internet going wild and all these crazy theories and, trying to solve the case themselves. I can get that, but they also did not give us anything. I mean, they said, like, do you remember a car?
Yeah.
We're like, what kind of
Mm.
car? Like any car? And then,
Mm.
oh, by the way, we have this sketch in the back room. Did you notice that?
Yeah. Can you please remember 2 years ago, if you seen someone who used to look like this, but now might look different?
Yeah, again, and when they put out there, do you know anyone that maybe started drinking? Do you know anyone that stopped drinking? Do you know anyone that maybe cries now? Like,
Yeah.
do you know anyone with depression? Like, just
Yeah.
yeah. Sal and I watched that media press conference, and we were kind of joking about it. But I mean, it's basically the cue for every ex-girlfriend to call in on their ex-boyfriend or guy they don't like.
Yeah. And I mean, from the murders up until Mr. Allen and up until now, there really hasn't been any information out there. So of course, when you hear about they arrested a guy, yay, it's probably him. Finally. And then, yeah, we will go to episode 4.
Yeah,
So
and that's kind of for episode 4. There was an elation. There was like, okay, we're going to get justice. Like that's what a lot of us thought. And I was newly into getting the podcast, so I thought this will be my first big case. Like I'm going to all by my own self. I'm a big girl now, and so then I got the probable cause affidavit, and I was like, oh crap.
Yeah, but that we will talk about more
Yes.
tomorrow. So yeah. Before anybody leaves, go over to Mo, subscribe to her, or if you're at Mo and aren't subscribed to me, please go to me.
Yes, please.
And I will redirect you over to the Jodi Aries stream that begins in 40 minutes. And because it's Jodi Day, and we have reached day 18, part 2. Jodi is still on the stand, and the defense attorney and the prosecutor, they are nearing a boiling point. They hate each other.
Not our mild-mannered Mexican Henry Winkler. That man is mild-mannered and calm. I can't imagine him being upset.
Yeah, if you haven't seen anything about it, well, now it's still the defense questioning Jodi Aries. But when you hear the state object, the prosecutor, do you understand more about boiling points and stuff like that? So I will send you over there. But thank you all for showing up.
Thank you, guys.
And thank you, Mo, for showing up here.
Thank you, guys. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to be taking Fry out.
Yeah. And I'm going to grab a bite to eat before Jodi stream. So thank you, everybody. And I see you all later or tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, part 3, the arrest of Mr. Allen. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.